Hey, what's going on? All right, I gotta talk about something. I gotta fucking quit nicotine. I'm not smoking cigarettes anymore. I'm doing the whole vape thing, but I gotta quit. But it's so hard, and here's why. And anyone who is a nicotine user will hopefully understand this. Like, all right, the other day, I run into somebody at the grocery store. Already a pretty unpleasant thing because I don't like doing stop and chats. And the guy is talking for, I'm not kidding you, probably 5 to 10 minutes about how he has this puddle that keeps pooling in his backyard, that he can't get it to stop pooling in his backyard. And I want to scream at him. Oh my God, I don't care, you know? But instead of being an asshole, I just get a little nicotine in my body and all that comes out is, yeah, that's tough, man. But you know what? Maybe that's the real enlightenment. Maybe that's the true freedom, is just in those moments being like, oh my God, I don't care. Here's to enlightenment for Birdie in 2021 and true freedom. Today's show is not as long as it normally is because there just wasn't a lot going on, but we do cover, the games that happened in football recently and all the stuff that's going on in the NHL and the MLB. And yeah, it's a good time. And we preview the Super Bowl. There will not be a second show this week. We'll get to back to normal programming next week. And yeah, thanks for listening. You can listen on Spotify now, so please check that out rather than YouTube, just because it's more convenient for you and it's more convenient for us. All right, that's enough. Let's start the show. Episode of Stone Sports. I'm your host, Bert. With me, as always, I have my host, Dubs. Say what up, Dubs.
What the fuck is up?
I should have said co-host. My bad. And my other co-host, Meech. Say what up, Meech.
What up?
All right. So, not
Still
a
got
lot.
That cough, Birdie?
Yeah, I don't have COVID. I had some weird version of food poisoning, so don't worry about that. I'm safe. I'm staying safe. But I did feel like I was gonna die. So
Ate some bad fish though.
Yeah.
But you stay the fuck away from seafood.
No.
There.
I'm not gonna stay away from seafood just because one salmon decided to be an idiot and eat something stupid.
It's gonna get you again then.
That's fine. It's worth it. Tastes so good.
Next time you eat fish, it's gonna be like, nah.
Yeah, that's a dope movie, by the way. I rewatched it recently. Like, it's so good. Jaws is so good. Like, what a movie.
10 years.
It's so good, man. You should watch it again. It holds up. It's fucking dope. All right, so
Need a bigger boat.
Yeah, gonna need a bigger boat. We're gonna need a bigger show because we do not have a whole lot to talk about today.
Be a smaller show.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a smaller show?
Why?
Because if we don't have the content to talk about, it would be a smaller show, not a bigger show.
No, that's why I said we're gonna need a bigger show.
Like we gotta stretch it out.
Yeah, exactly. But
Get the stretch marks on it.
Who cares? Who cares? We don't have sponsors. We do what we want. We're a free, independent nation state.
If you want a sponsor, though.
Yeah. If you do, like, hit us up. We're down. We'll totally.
But for now, do what the fuck we want.
All right, let's do it like we always do. Let's start off with some baseball. What's going on in the world of baseball, boys?
The MLB Players Association rejected the what do you want to call it? The rules put forward, potential rules put forward by the league.
Yeah,
They
I
wanted
saw that.
universal DH, and they wanted an expanded playoff, and both of those got rejected. So no universal DH, despite me wanting it. I think it'd be fucking awesome. I always do that shit in MLB The Show. I'm like, automatic DH for the franchise mode.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a huge success.
People like home runs, man, and pitchers don't crank dingers. But when they do, it is a spectacle.
Yeah, there's been
like
a few
Bartolo
over the course
home
of time
run
that had. Yeah, and I remember Mad Bum always used to crank a couple every year, it seemed like, when he was in our division.
John Lester hit a couple for us, I think, interleague play.
Yeah, it's good because he can't pick people off first. So
cancer survivor, John Lester. Don't speak ill.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Solidarity, brother.
Jesus. He doesn't get a fucking card. Like he doesn't get a like. I don't like him.
Oh.
I mean, it's not because he had cancer. I was not like, oh, you had cancer. I hate you.
I'm a big John Lester guy.
Of course you are. Why would you be? You're a fucking Bostonian. Speaking of which, you guys got Kike.
My boy. So I was super excited about it because he seems fun and he's a good player. I'm a big utility player guy. But when I was looking at the contract, he just kind of seems like a more expensive Brock Holt, which made me sad just because I miss Brock Holt. And we didn't need to get rid of him, but we did anyway.
Yeah, although
I do like the signing. I like Kike.
Yeah, and he's a good locker room guy. The Dodgers are going to miss him. It was funny because the report came out and it said Enrique, and I was like, who the hell is Enrique Hernandez? Because he is universally known as Kike. So... yeah, I was just like, wait, what?
Kike.
But yeah, that's a good signing. Nationals got Brad Hand.
2 years, 10 mil.
Yeah, Yankees went out and traded for Jameson Taillon.
Great pickup.
Yeah, it gives them some starting pitching depth.
He's one of the few bright spots on a Pittsburgh team that really sucks.
Yeah, and they keep trading away all of their assets. I mean, they look like the Indians from the 90s.
I words.
I words.
Taillon was asked what he thought about being in New York, and he said it lit a fire under him to be joining a win now team.
Yeah, I remember when Adam Ottavino was pretty happy to join them. He is now out in New York. He goes to Boston in the first trade between.
We saved him from that shithole that is the Bronx. Welcome to Boston, Adam Ottavino.
He was pretty happy to be there. He's a lifelong Yankees fan, so just screams out, "Let's acquire this guy!" But yeah, they traded Ottavino to the Red Sox in the first deal since the Drew deal, which was 7 years ago. So they just don't. Division rivals don't hardly ever make deals like this. With like
Steven Drew, the Drew everyone liked in Boston. Everyone hated JD Drew.
Yeah, can't imagine why.
He's one of your boys.
I don't want him. I didn't love JD Drew.
I don't know if anyone loved JD Drew.
Yeah, I don't know if they did either. Anything else
happening that kept signing him for massive amounts of money did apparently.
Yeah, fair enough.
Arizona did so much to get him too.
What?
We gave up so much to get him too.
Yeah. Arizona drafted a letter to MLB that said they wanted to delay spring training in the Cactus League, which is the Arizona League. The Grapefruit League is the Florida League.
Cactus League Arizona, said, no way. We don't want your COVID around here.
They just want to stay on schedule, I think. If they have to kibosh fans, I think they will. But yeah, it's funny because Jeff Passan brought up that the Coyotes allow fans in their NHL stadium, apparently. So kind of interesting to see that. But maybe they just don't want the travelers from other locales coming in. Maybe that's their logic, but
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know
if anyone wants to go to Arizona anyway.
Yeah, or a Coyotes game for that matter.
Ayo.
Damn.
Except they did have probably the coolest of the like retro jerseys this year.
Oh, that old Coyotes jersey is fucking fire.
Yeah, that shit was really cool, man. I
Shane
was
Doan.
Yeah.
My man, Shane
What do you
Doan.
mean,
I didn't say I said yeah.
He's a hero.
I was conceding the point.
It seems like you weren't very excited about Shane Doan, and this
I'm
is
not.
a podcast that gets excited about Shane Doan.
Yeah,
So you gotta hop on the train or hop off it.
Yeah.
I'm off that train.
Birdie.
I'm off
Then
that
you're gonna
train.
get run over by that train.
That's totally
Yeah.
fine.
Shane
This is
Doan.
a Shane Doan supporting podcast.
Yeah,
and
it
if
is.
you're not about it, then you're not the face of it.
Yeah.
You don't want me to be the face of it anyway.
Come on, that mug.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
How do you work on your face? I mean, I'm fat. I
It's
can
like
work on my weight, but
Yeah,
you, I don't know what you gotta do with your face.
Two
Like,
words. Plastic surgery.
Oh Jesus!
Hollywood.
Extreme measures being taken by Birdie.
Oh, this has gone off the rails so early, guys. What about the NBA, Dubs? You're the NBA guy. Anything else? Anything interesting happening?
Well, did you
this
want to
week?
talk about the trade,
What trade?
the Dubois trade?
Pierre-Luc
Oh,
Dubois.
you mean in the NHL? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where we're at. From
Yeah.
that transition from Arizona Fall League baseball or spring
It was a good
baseball
transition.
to
You're absolutely right. It
Shane
was a good
Doan being a
transition.
fucking monster.
From the Cactus League being pricks to
Whoa!
Pierre-Luc Dubois being a prick to get out of Columbus.
Yeah, did you see the like fight that happened on the bench between him and Torts? Torts was just like screaming.
No, but I
in
bet
his
Torts
ear.
does not take any of that shit.
No, at all. Torts is like screaming in his ear, and then they like cut to his face, and he's got this face on like I used to get when I was like 16, and my parents would yell at me, and I knew they were right, but I was just mad because like I wanted my way. It was a petulant child kind of look on his face, and yeah, and then obviously they're like, yeah, he's not long, and then it must have been a couple days later, or not even, that the trade happened. It's a pretty good trade. The bummer is that they can't use him for 14 days because, he has to go into Canada. So he has to sit out for 14 days. So you kind of make this
Gotta
trade.
wait for his passport to come in the mail.
No, it's COVID stuff. But you make the trade for this player who is a good player, and now he has to sit out for 14 days, which in a condensed season is quite a few games. So it's interesting to see how that's going to affect them. But, some other stuff in the NHL that I kind of wanted to talk about is Montreal is like on fire, dude. I don't know if you've been watching, and I know that's probably pissing you off, Double, because you're a Boston fan.
I don't pay attention to that team.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
I'm gonna check out for a few minutes.
it's too early to call it who's going to win, but they are right now looking strong. And also, I want to say, I'm pretty sick and tired of people doing that. Like 1 week into the season, and they're like, oh, this team's going to win. And it's like, dude, shut up. Like, maybe when we get halfway through the season, then we'll evaluate. But, like, that's just one of my pet peeves. I'm probably going to have a few
Sounded
pet
like
peeves to get off
you
my
on
chest today.
Boston's nuts last year.
They were great. The only reason they didn't,
Still great.
they're middle of the pack now.
That
They're middle of the pack
Still
now.
great.
I mean, that's just what they
still
are.
great.
They probably would have.
Better than your shit show in New York.
Like I said, it's the first week of the season, so keep talking shit. It's a little early.
So we'll wait till the middle of the season. It'll be nice.
I'm not doing this with you anymore. They would have won last year if Tuca didn't go home. But, Tuca had to go home because he had family issues, so I respect that. I saw some people talking shit about that, but I was like, you people need to shut up. Like,
I'm not a Tuukka Rask hater. Tuukka Rask is
yeah,
good.
like he did.
I mean, if
what
you're a
anyone would
bitch
do.
and want to leave your team before the playoffs, then yeah.
I don't know, man. If I got a call about my child suddenly in a hospital, I might dip too. But yeah, I think they would have at least gone to the cup last year if it wasn't for that. I feel like that really, really hurt them.
Really, really hurt me.
Yeah,
It just makes me question his loyalty.
Yeah, that was that thing that you see people say. It's like, dude, like, shut up. Like, God, like some people, like sports fandom on social media sometimes can be exhausting, man. Not all sports teams.
MMA Twitter.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about what happened? Did you watch that?
So I felt like absolute dog shit Saturday night, and I went to bed super early, but I woke up in the middle of the night and went through Twitter for a while.
Dude,
So,
as soon as it happened, I go on and somebody's like, well, that was just an illegitimate knockout. They need to have a rematch. And I was like, all right, first of all, they need to have a rematch because they're 1-1. So you got to have a rematch to break that tie. But secondly, that was not an illegitimate knockout, dude. Like, that was pretty fucking clean, dude. And it's, my brother said this to me, and I think he has a great point. Like, when you have fighters like that who are that good, that like rarely get touched, when they do get touched, they crumble. And that's all that happened. Like, you watched it happen.
The other thing is Poirier absolutely lit him up with leg kicks in the first round, cut his mobility off. And when Conor got the punch that really fucked him up, is he was going in for a single leg takedown, which you never see Conor McGregor go for.
Exactly.
He was doing that because he couldn't fucking stand anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, and as soon as he got tagged that first time and he kind of fell back against the cage, like I was
That's
like,
what I was
he's
talking
done.
about.
Like he's
because he was shooting for a takedown there.
Yeah, it was nutty, dude. And the memes have been top tier. Like
they've been pretty good.
Yeah, they've been great. They've been great.
I woke up the next morning and I said to my mom and Selena, I was like, that today is a day where I'm lucky that sports gambling is not legal in Massachusetts, because I would be down. All of my picks on that UFC card were wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
I
a
almost
lot of them.
Poirier, but
all of the finishes, like it was the round I called, but it was the opposite person. I was just like, God fucking damn it, dude. I couldn't have fucked this up harder.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of crazy to watch. Like, it was just like, oh shit, that just happened. I mean, I was like, I could see this happening, but I didn't think it was going to happen. Also, McGregor has fought, like, I think the stat was like 40 seconds in the last year has been like the length of his total fight time.
Well, yeah, because he only fought Cerrone.
Yeah, and that was like,
it was quick as
15-second fight. Or
he just mashed him with
seconds.
his shoulder and KO'd him.
Yeah, which was dope as shit. Like that was
cool.
super lit. But yeah,
but everyone's saying Conor's washed. It's what's probably gonna happen. He's gonna come back in a few months. Everyone's gonna get super hyped up, sick. He's fucking a He's gonna get a first or second round knockout, and then we're gonna be in the same position next year that we are in now, where we're waiting for his next fight to see if he can go fight Khabib again. Like that's
he's
probably
not
how
done.
It's gonna go.
Yeah, that dude's not done at all. Anyone saying that, like, that's just again exhausting sports fans. Like, that dude's not done at all. He just got tagged and wasn't ready for it. That's like all that happened. Yeah, it happens.
It's a fight game.
Yep, happens to the greatest. So basketball. Should we talk a little?
Yeah, we'll
start with
the greatest franchise in NBA history. We'll call it the Celtics. Jalen Brown, 33 points in 19 minutes against the Cavs.
Excuse you?
Excuse you?
Pretty sure you don't hold the record.
Who do you hold that record with, Meech?
Well, it's tied, but you have to mention the other.
You guys got it in a shortened fucking bullshit bubble playoff
short season.
Shit.
But if the fucking Celtics would have won, God,
your LA cleans up when it's fucking everyone's worried about other shit, and there's a short season, and fucking people are. It's fuck you guys. All right,
he can't even speak.
Jalen Brown.
Sorry, Dubs. Go ahead.
33 points in 19 minutes against the Cavs. That is an NBA record for most points in under 20 minutes. That, adding to Jalen Brown's breakout season, he's averaging 27 points, just under 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. He's been phenomenal since the start of the season, and he's really stepped up with Tatum out. Tatum is expected to return against the Bulls. That is the Celtics' next game at the time of recording.
Okay.
Meech, anything about the Celtics tandem?
No, I could care less. Especially since I stopped playing daily fantasy, I could really give two shits about them anymore.
All right, here's something you'll probably give a shit about. NBA Holding talks about the All-Star game on March 7th, considering Atlanta as a possible location. Meet you big NBA All-Star game guy.
Back in the day, but I'm just not a huge NBA guy. I root for the Lakers. I watched a little bit of the game when I was on my exercise bike tonight, and LeBron was killing it, hitting shots he had no business hitting. But other than that, not a huge NBA guy, especially till later in the year.
I'm not really a big all-star game guy in any sport. Like, I just don't really care. Sorry.
NBA is one of the good ones, but anyway.
NBA is usually so high scoring it's ridiculous, but it's fun to watch at least. It is a good show.
I like the stuff around it.
Same. That's what I was going to say. Like, all that stuff is cool, but like the actual game, I just don't care.
Yeah, I can give a fuck less about the game too. The Miami Heat are using coronavirus sniffing dogs at games for the upcoming season. They're going to let
That's a thing?
The current season. Apparently, they're going to be letting some fans into the arena. They have to be sniffed by dogs unless you're not cool with that, and then you have to take a rapid test on site.
Dude. All right. I got to talk about this real quick. So, I thought I had COVID on Monday, or last Monday, and I went and got the test. Dude. Fuck that test.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It went that lady put that goddamn cotton swab in my skull, bro. I was like, dude, fuck this. And she
when I had to get sorry, go ahead.
She went to pull it out and I was like, fuck you. And she goes, are you all right? And I was like, do you have to go again? And she was like, yeah, in your other nostril. And I was like, God damn it. And then she dude, it is not pleasant.
You were basically acting like 40-year-old virgin when he's getting fucking waxed.
Oh my god,
that's you're the devil.
That's exactly what I was doing, dude.
When I got mine, when she did the first one, I just went,
yeah.
She pulled it out, and then fucking
yeah.
But when I was in middle school, I had whooping cough, and I had to fucking get tested for that. It's the same test as COVID. But it's not a
Isn't that like a 1920's disease?
Yeah, it is. I had it right between cholera and gout. I had battles with both.
Double died of dysentery on the Oregon Trail. Watch the fuck out.
Nice.
I got think I'm gonna get TB soon. Might be the death of me.
Yeah, consumption. Yeah, dude. I mean, God bless those people who get tested all the time because that shit's painful. And also, man, I'm just gonna say, God bless those people working because when I pulled into that parking lot, there were 80 people there. And you got to think at least 10 of them have COVID, right? And these people are just there every day exposing themselves. You know, it really
I mean, hopefully they got one of the vaccines if they're frontline. I mean, most of the vaccines.
I don't know how that's going here because, it's not a big town, so I don't know if it's a top priority, but I'm just saying those people exposing themselves to it like that, it really hit home because I just saw all the people and I was like, holy shit, these people are doing the big work, the important work, so shout outs to those people.
It's kind of what nurses and stuff have been saying from the beginning. They're just exhausted because people are like, oh, if I get it, it's no big deal. And then they end up in the hospital and then, then the nurses and doctors have to work around it. And It's just,
yeah. Shout outs to those people, man.
Shout out to the Miami Heat sniffing dogs.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my best experience at the airport post 9/11 was at the Las Vegas airport. It was Sunday. So it's coming home day for everyone, right?
I
so
how you had to throw post 9/11 then.
Well, yeah, because before that...
No, my favorite airport memories, they all come before 9/11.
Well, yeah, it was the Wild West back then.
Oh, it was awesome. I was 5. But
I was 2.
Okay, then I was way older than 5. But basically, you just walked by this dog. It was a bomb sniffing dog. They just want to make sure you didn't have to take off your shoes. You didn't have to take off your belt, nothing. You didn't have to take off anything. You just walked right by the dog, sniffed it, you're good to go. It was the best experience ever. So if that's how the COVID sniffing dog works, then good for them.
Yeah, shout out to COVID sniffing dogs, the heroes, the real heroes.
I mean, I don't know about that. I just think that it would be a good experience rather than getting tested. As you
Yeah,
guys
for
previously talked
sure.
about. I have no experience testing for that, so I have no idea.
It's brutal. I hope you never have to go through it. Any other NBA stuff you want to talk about, Dubs, before we get to the old football?
I just want to kick the Nets while they're down. They've lost twice to the Cavaliers this week. The Cavaliers.
Big oof.
Big oof.
Of
All
Cleveland fame?
right. Of Cleveland fame.
I mean, Cavs aren't bad.
They share a city with the Browns and the I words.
I like the I words. We're going to have to go with that for a while.
Nuggets and Clippers were the biggest climbers in the power rankings this week. We'll see how that checks out next week. That's all I got for basketball.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk the football. So you guys want to talk about the Packers and the Bucks game first, or would you rather talk about Bills and Chiefs first? I'm cool either way.
So we should go with the Bucks Packers game first because it's the one I was less inebriated for.
Yeah, it was the one I paid more attention to as well.
Second one's a little fuzzy after halftime.
I actually
I wish
really
I hadn't
enjoyed the
paid
game.
more attention to it because, unfortunately, gambling isn't legalized here
Let's
either.
gamble.
But I did gamble and lost a ton of money on the fucking Packers.
Yeah, that was a rough moment in the chat that day, and because I just kept texting like, "Oh no,
Rough for
oh,
fun
shit."
because I was having the time of my life.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah, I
you were,
could
but that's the
tell.
difference between you and me.
I was at my buddy's house just fucking laughing away, just reading the chat, watching Meech lose all of his money. Because I picked the Bucks, unlike someone who put their money down against the Bucks.
Yeah. Twice, actually, because I wasn't even going to touch these games, either of them. I ended up betting on both of them.
Apparently didn't want to touch your money anymore.
If you have a
You're
gambling problem,
burning
please
it.
call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah.
That's
I
gambling.
might need to do that. Because I bet first I just threw down 30 on it. I was like, this is an easy game, whatever. I'll just throw down 30. And then live betting, that's where you get in trouble, kids. Stay away from live betting. It's never a good idea. Rarely works out in your favor. I waited for the Packers, who went into the game as favorites, to have a plus return on my bet. I got plus 120, hammered home the bet for $100, and then proceeded to lose that as well. So that was an expensive game for me.
That's tough stuff.
Big oof.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bucks defense was
Suffocating.
pretty good. Pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
Although, I will say one thing. Once again, we've talked about it a lot this year. I've never seen more drops. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, this would have been a different game if Devontae Adams catches that back shoulder throw at the beginning of the game
Yep.
for the touchdown, and if Lazard catches the 2-point. Like,
Yep.
both of which were at their hands.
Yep.
And both of which went untouched.
Catches you got to make. I agree with you. And it really was just that the Bucks defense, especially in the latter half of that game, really stepped up when they needed to, because Brady threw those 2 interceptions and they stopped him on both of those. That to me is what really got him the game, to be completely honest.
I turned it off after halftime. I was getting play-by-play from my buddy who also bet the Packers, so that was fun for both of us.
Yeah.
What about LaFleur choosing not to go for it on
the
fourth
kick,
down?
I mean, the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a weird call.
It really was a weird call. It really
We've seen a
considering-
few of those this season.
Considering what's the rule? Never give Brady the ball ever in 20 years of football.
Yeah,
Never give him the ball back.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to go
Especially
that
in the
far,
playoffs.
man. Like, what was it, like the last 2.5 minutes of the game? And so it's arguably going to be your last possession, and it's a playoff game. Just go. I mean, just go. Like, I don't understand why you think, like, I get it if there's 5 minutes. We've had that discussion before. If there's 5 minutes, I get it. If there's
I
2.5 minutes,
because your defense hadn't stopped
That's
them
true.
all fucking game.
but what I'm saying is if there's 5 minutes, then there's a higher probability that you're going to have another possession. If there's 2.5 minutes, that probability is like halved. You know what I mean? Like I just don't understand that call at all. And some people are saying like analytics says that you kicked a field goal there. I don't understand why you would use analytics to make a play call. Use analytics to like set up
two
players.
shining moments that analytics have had this year.
Yeah,
Common
right.
sense fucking tells you not to give Brady the ball back, but whatever.
Exactly. I don't understand that. Also saw some people complaining about the officiating. There was a lot of fistful
Everyone's
of jerseys
gonna do that
would be
in the
if this
playoffs,
game was a Western, it would be called a fistful of jerseys. And then they called one at the end of the game, and they didn't call it like the whole game. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I see your point there.
The one they didn't call resulted in a turnover and then a subsequent touchdown. The one they did call resulted in them for sure losing the game.
Exactly.
It was bad. If you're gonna let him play, and I get it, he had a lot of that jersey, but the same could be said for anytime. How many times have you heard an analyst say, "Oh, he turned the shoulder, he turned the hip," and that's what happened. When the Packers were on offense, he turned the shoulder. Like that's a PI every time. So if you're not gonna call that, then don't call the other thing.
Yeah, I agree. At least be consistent one way or the other.
Right.
And one thing to add about giving Brady the ball back. After watching the Patriots for 20 years, there's one constant. You might not win every single game, but Tom Brady's going to score before the half. You're going to get the ball back at the half, and you're going to score again. You double up every single time. It might not be touchdowns, but I swear to God, every single game, Tom Brady doubles up at the half.
Well, and then we had a similar situation to the Jets, although it wasn't a full-out blitz. That defender just got beat, and right before halftime, and it totally changed the whole feel of the game. I feel like, they throw
to Scotty Miller.
Yeah, the touchdown to Scotty Miller, and that's when I turned the game off. Right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was. I texted you right after that. It was like,
yeah. That's when I was like, I lost a lot of money today.
I
cannot believe that you would let him get behind you there.
Yeah, again, I keep saying it. It's the theme of this episode. Big oof. So
big fucking oof.
Tough stuff.
Yeah, tough stuff. So the Bills and the Chiefs game. This was a game that I didn't pay as much attention to because, well, I'll just admit it. There was a Rangers game on, and I watched it. And it was a pretty brutal loss. So,
nothing new.
But let's get back on track to the Bills-Chiefs game. Talk me through it, Dubs. What went down? Why did they lose?
Oh, all right. I thought I was going to talk you through it. I don't know why they lost. The Chiefs, they really came out like firing. I mean, opposite. Sorry, not the Chiefs. The Bills came out firing. It was 9-0 in the first quarter, and then something just flipped. The Chiefs started putting it together. Their defense started looking sharper. They started making throws downfield. Kelsey and Tyreek Hill were absolutely unstoppable. Mahomes came out and looked great despite, the injury questions all week. He threw for 3 touchdowns, 325. Like I said, Kelsey and Hill were huge, and the defense played just well enough. Despite Allen having a good game, they shut down the run, and they got a 14-point win.
Yeah, the Chiefs were impressive. I actually put money on the Chiefs despite picking the Bills, and that made my weekend, not as bad because I got 100 out of that. So that wiped away my bad bet on the Packers, really. But yeah, the Chiefs just looked better after the first 12 minutes of the game, basically.
It was about where we got.
Yeah, I mean, after the muffed return by Mecole Hardman ended up being a touchdown. Was it a touchdown or a field goal? I think it was a touchdown.
I checked out in the second half of this game. I was just drinking and smoking.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this, because I only watched the first half of the game.
I watched both halves, but I only remember one.
It seems to me like watching them this year, like basically what happens is you have to continually score to stay in the game with them. And then the minute you make that first mistake, they're going to pull ahead.
And they're not just going to pull ahead. They're going to have a 50-yard passing touchdown that's going to completely swing momentum their way.
Exactly, right. So, like, I assume that that's probably what happened in this game.
It kind of seemed like that. The Bills had momentum at the start. Chiefs stole it back and never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs clearly saw something on that first couple possessions that they had on offense. They adjusted it going into really the second. Like, it wasn't – they got off to a slow start, but they kind of always do. They saw an adjustment. They saw something. They made an adjustment, and then it was the Chiefs show. Kelsey and Hill just couldn't be touched.
Could not be stopped.
Yeah.
22 catches between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous number.
It's a large number for catches.
All right, so you boys want to talk about the Super Bowl? What we think's going to happen? Make some predictions? Get a little Nostradamuc? I don't know if that's a word, but if it isn't, I made it up and it's dope.
I think Tom Brady's going to have to decide between his left middle finger and his left pinky ring on which one number 7 should go on.
Isn't it in Tampa?
You're choosing the Bucks here?
Yep, I am.
Isn't the game in Tampa?
It is, and I don't bet against Tom Brady in Super Bowls.
I mean, I think this is a dope game because you kind of have like, you know, the old guard that people consider the greatest and the new up and coming what people are going to consider to be the greatest. So
it's still great, but it's not the greatest.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting matchup. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
I think the Chiefs proved that we've all been sleeping on them this year, and they will win this game. They did seemingly lose a tackle. We saw the pass rush last week, and that can't be great for the Chiefs. But given the offensive weapons that they have that we've seen, I think they'll find a way to get it out fast and quell the rush, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people asking me, you know, all day, what do I think's going to happen? And I can't call it because I can see, you know, one of two things happening. What you just said happening, Meech, I can see that easy, but I can also see the Bucks surprising everyone just like they've been doing for the past, 3 weeks? Yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while now. They just keep coming out and just like killing it. And so it's just, I don't know. They're at home. I know that doesn't have too much an advantage, but it's got to be somewhere in the players' minds. You know, they're at home. They have a chance to do something.
I mean, mythical, I think most importantly for them being at home, they're not in the cold.
Yeah, for sure.
But
they got to clean some things up. But if they're able to do that, they have a couple of staples on their team. They have a great passing attack. Their line has been great the last few weeks. Their pass rush was able to get to Rodgers, Pierre-Paul, and Barrett combined for 5 sacks last week. And their run defense was phenomenal all year long. And the Chiefs have kind of struggled in that department this year. They've just relied on the pass more. So it's not even that they struggled. It's just they're better.
Yeah, or they use that little like shovel pass play they've used a few times. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. To Hill or Hardman or whoever.
Exactly. Yeah, they do that. Or, I mean, I don't know, man. And then you have like Fournette's been kind of killing it the past couple weeks. Like it's a
playoff Lenny.
It's a really difficult game to call. I don't know who's gonna win. I want the Bucks to win though. I really do.
I'm going with the Bucks. I think they're gonna win a close one, and if they don't, I think the Chiefs are gonna win like 38-13. It's gonna be either a blowout for the Chiefs, or the Bucks are gonna win and pull it out close, which I hope and think will happen.
Yeah, that was actually gonna be my next question. If you thought it would be a close game or not, but I guess we got. What do you think, Meech? Think it's gonna be a close game? You think it's gonna be a blowout?
I think it's gonna be close. I do. These teams are both fairly evenly matched, but I just think Kansas City proved why they're the defending champions last week, and I think we've all been sleeping on them all year, and I think that was their, hey, we're still here, and we're still the best, and we're still the defending champs. And in all honesty, their defense has looked amazing Their defense looked really good against Josh Allen. I know they won't be able to confuse Brady as much, but you got to watch out for ball hawks like Mathau because that could be a huge problem for them.
For sure.
But,
and the guy they just got back from injury, Snead, the second quarter, he played really, really well against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out here soon, and we'll talk about it on the show.
I got one more question for you guys before we wrap it up here, tying
absolutely.
into the Super Bowl. Do you guys have a Super Bowl that sticks out in your mind that doesn't involve like your team that you root for?
You mean like in days past?
Yeah, that you've watched and like you stuck out as a really good fucking game. To me, mine is the Steelers Cardinals. I don't remember exactly which Super Bowl it was, but the one with the Santonio Holmes catch at the end, and Larry Fitzgerald had like a huge play. That game was awesome.
I mean, there's the one the first time the Giants and the Patriots. That one was pretty. I know it's bad for you, but I don't really care about either of those teams. And I was just like, oh shit, that's kind of crazy. And just the way it happened, like late in the game, was pretty intense. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, I'm struggling. There was one with the Broncos that was fun to watch way back in the day, but I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the one against the Falcons.
Thinking of the helmet catch like literally made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, man. I had to do it to you. I'm sorry. You asked the question. I had to answer.
I need ginger ale after this.
Does that really work? I don't know, man. I feel like that might be an old wives' tale.
Solves everything. I love ginger ale.
No, Xanax solves everything. Xanax is a cure-all. I take it for anything. If I have the flu, I take Xanax. If I have a cold, I take Xanax. If I'm having existential dread, I take Xanax.
When I wake up, I take Xanax.
Yeah, right? Like,
before I go to bed, I take Xanax.
It's funny, when I actually got sick last week, I took a Xanax.
After I eat food, take a Xanax. Go to light up a cigarette, take a Xanax.
Don't do that anymore.
Take a Xanax.
Don't do that anymore.
Take a Xanax, take a Xanax, take a Xanax.
No. In all seriousness, use Xanax responsibly. Don't abuse that shit. It's really bad for you.
The only Super Bowl that stands out for me is the Seahawks Patriots.
I thought about that one for a second
because it was a great game.
Yeah,
intercepted at the goal line,
and that will forever live.
Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, and then he was noticeably absent the next year when you guys tried to win.
I mean, I know you said like not my team in it, but the one with the Rams Titans was dope, just because it came down to what was it like 3 yards. I think is what separated the Titans from winning that Super Bowl.
The Chargers haven't been in the
Super Bowl. Like, not one time.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about?
This is just bad karma you're building up, dude. You want the
If
Bruins
we
to be a
could
good
choose-
team forever. You got to stop building up this bad karma, man.
My
If we
favorite
could
Super
choose-
Bowl we won was the 28-3 comeback.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and mine would be the 2018 because it was a great game, but I was screaming at the TV because of how many yards we were giving up. We were just allowing so much offense.
It was a tense game, I can imagine, if you were an Eagles
The
fan.
second half of the Falcons game literally makes my body go warm and numb. And the same thing with the Butler interception. It's just pure heroin. Pure ecstasy.
Nice. Pure Ecstasy, new band name, I call it. All right, anything else we want to talk about, boys? No? Okay. Thanks for listening.
I want to talk about the side.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on all the social media. It's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And we will see you next time. We're out of here. Say goodbye, boys.
Birdie's going to go take a Xanax. I need some ginger ale, some pot, H.
I'm good. Just living my best life here.
All right. See you later.
Peace.